everybody, Elizabeth here at Petals and Parchment. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today I want to walk you through a project. I was very inspired by Treasure Book's planner in her recent video, so I wanted to make one, and I ran into a lot of trouble doing that, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out, and I hope you'll join me as I show you how I put this together. And definitely make sure that you check out Natasha's video because her directions were so precise and so great that even though I managed to mess up every step, I still came out with a beautiful project. So let's get started. I am working today with my new kit called Glam Noir. It is a black and gold kit, and I'll show you a few pages I've got printed here, and then we'll dive into the project. If you don't know, this is part of a series called A Year in Color, and I'm just exploring a different color each month, but I thought black and gold would go good together, and I didn't want just a solid black kit or a solid gold kit. I thought that would be a little too much, so I decided to combine these two colors together and then just give lots of options in each, and then a few that combine the two. So this is what I came up with. It's sort of grungy and floral, and then of course I have to put my ledgers in it. These are test prints. I went back and I made some adjustments so that you can see them a little bit clearer, but I did want this to be solid black with just like some decoration in the background. So I think that looks really cool. And this month I was super duper inspired by Natasha at Treasure Books. She made the most awesome little planner, and so I'm going to pop that video down in the description. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Her channel is so inspiring. To me, she is the ultimate muse. I just love everything about her. She's really inspirational, and I thought I would do my own version of the planner, and I have some exciting techniques that I want to show you, but first we have to get the file folders cut down and ready. So I've decided to make mine 8x6, which was the size that she recommended, and then I'm adding an extra inch so that I can make my own tabs like she did, which was really, really cool. So I am going to do some of the things that she did, and then others I'm going to sort of do my own take on it. So first things first, I'm gonna cut these down. Okay, so right now this is our cover, and it's 8x7, and we're just gonna have some tabs that we're gonna build here. So let me cut the other one. Okay, so now my two file folders are cut down, and I'm going to paint the cover and then do some decorating on it. You're welcome to join me if you'd like. I just grabbed some black acrylic paint. I've always wanted to use this brush. I'm so excited, yay! That works so beautifully. Okay. And flip it around and do this side. Wow, that worked really great. It looks even better than I anticipated. A little bit more paint here. Whoops, that's probably too much. This is just acrylic paint. You also could use paper if you don't have any acrylic paint. I'm going to rinse this brush off. I'll be right back. Okay, so I was trying to clean the brush. It's too large to fit in my rinse water container. So I know you're not supposed to rinse acrylic paint down the sink because it has like microplastics in it that can't be removed from the water supply. And so I really struggle with like ways to clean up my acrylic paint when I'm painting. So that's why I tend to go with watercolor a lot, even though I do love acrylic paint. My solution is to get out my paper dyeing and just try to clean the brush off on top of some paper and hopefully make some interesting papers to put in the journal. that came pretty clean, I think, and that was an unexpected bit of fun that I wasn't planning for, so that was really cool. Now, Natasha said that she likes to leave a gap in the middle, but I'm gonna reinforce mine with some washi tape. So just to show you real quick, I've gathered some supplies here. You may have some similar things. I'm thinking about using these hexagons, and then I also just collected like all of my gold and black art supplies. So I did have an ink pad. I have never used it. I just picked this up a few weeks ago, so I'm excited to try this. And then I've got some gold acrylic paint. I've got some gold gilding wax, and then I've also got these really pretty gold flakes and some black ink. And then I also found some like lace and pretty textiles, and then just some really extra sheen gold paint. And then I also have some black and gold embossing powder, so we might get into that at some point this month. So yeah, just go through your stash and grab all of your gold and black supplies and join me. It's so much fun. So this is the washi tape that I have that is gold or black, and I'll just pick one to go down the center here. And I'm just doing this not only for an added decorative touch, but also added structure and stability to the final product, because I am actually going to use this one for myself, I think. I'm not sure, but if it is for me, I need it to be extra durable. Okay, so I'll use this black and white one straight down the center here. And if you don't have a super sticky washi tape, you can add some glue at this point too. And I'm going to go ahead and come up this side as well, because you'll be able to see it on both sides. Okay, we're gonna snip this off here, trim off the excess that I missed. I really don't like that my eco tank leaves those white borders. There's like no way to get rid of it. I have a really old one though, like one of the earlier models, I think. Okie dokie. Yep, I think I'll get this one stuck down here. Okay, and Natasha did use 2 different glues, so I think I'll do the same just to give it added stability. I forgot to put the other glue. I should have cut my paper first. That was so silly. Okay, well that didn't go super well, so I'll have to do a little repair here. That's fine. I'll just put more washi tape over the top and you won't even be able to tell, but cut the papers first. Okay, here we go. So now I'm going to take some more washi tape and some glue and do a little repair right here. First, I'm gonna glue down this piece that's kind of flapping around. Then I'm going to try to match up the pattern if I can. Okay, we'll start from this side, and I'm going to run some glue all the way down. Since it is kind of a see-through white pattern, I'm trying to match it up. Well, that didn't go well. All right. My goodness. Okay, cut that off. And I'm gonna come up over the side too to cover this glue. Let's see, can I line it up? Yes. Okay, and I'm just going to follow my instinct here so that the tape doesn't pop up in the middle when I fold it in half. So I'm going to use my packing tape over the top. No! Oh no! Mayday! Mayday! Oh man, what a bummer. Alright, so no mistakes, only solutions, right? So it's only paper, you can cover it with more paper. The thing that I'm disappointed the most in is that the tape cut off back here. Okay, so I've just peeled some layers of washi tape off, and I'm going to cut this packing tape off, glue it back down, and try again. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so now I'm going to go back over it with packing tape, except this time I'm just going to wrap it around and not try to cut it off. Now I'm just going to fold this tape over and not even try to cut it. Okay, so now to cover the problem, I'm going to put a pocket. A giant pocket. Hopefully I have one big enough to cover the mistake. If not, I'll make one. I think that will work good. So I'm going to glue that down. And we could even use this piece of washi right here. And I'll put another one up here just for fun. I think this other pocket will fit right here. Ooh, I think it would look kind of cool to turn the pocket sideways. What do we think about that? Might get in the way. Do normal or put this down here. I try not to think about it too much. That way it doesn't become stressful. Okay, so there's our first page done. Oh, this is coming up here. So we're gonna glue that down. Did I put everything upside down? Okay, it's the next day and I'm back, and let's see what we're working with. So this is the direction that my pockets go. So I'm going to reprint this or choose a different, let's just choose a different picture to go on top here. Double check one more time. Pockets are facing up. I don't know why this was so difficult for me yesterday. So I decided to walk away, and we went to a concert last night. We saw The Fix in Salt Lake City, and it was so incredible. We had the most amazing time. Sweet Pea had a babysitter for the first time that wasn't related to her, so she was so excited, and we had a terrific time. And I was like really excited this morning to get up and get back to this and try to figure it out. So Okay, now we're just gonna trim off the edges and we can move on to the cover, which is where all the fun is, I think. I think I'm going to use the paper trimmer to cut this so that it comes out evenly. Okay, so we're going to get back to this, which is the cover. So first I'll go ahead and cover this side to hopefully straighten it out a little bit before I work on the cover. Okay, so I tidied up a little bit and regrouped, and here's what I have so far. The painted cover of our file folder, and then the inside I've covered and done washi tape. So I want to put washi on the outside here too, and I am going to use some glue just to make sure that it stays in place. Okay, and then trim that off. We've got the cover, the inside, the back cover, and then this piece for the inside. So, all right, so now we need to make the tabs and then bind them together. Okay, there's a lot of overhang here, so I'm gonna try to trim this one again. I'm just going to make a mark every 2 inches and cut the rest off. So what I've done is I've started my ruler at the beginning and it's 8 inches, and I'm going to draw a line all the way down with my pencil for the 1 inch width. And then I'm going to only keep 2 inches on the bottom here. So I'm going to get rid of all of this. Okay, so I'm going to cut this. And then I'm going to cut this like she did. Okay, so then we're just left with this one tab here. And then on the second sheet, line it up, and our 2 inches is going to start right here. And then we're gonna go up 2 inches from that, which is right here, and use this line. We're going to get rid of all of this. Keep that. And get rid of this. Okay, so now we've got our second tab. I really admire Natasha's precision with this project because it hasn't been easy. And I've cut my pocket. So I think that this entire project is going to fight me the entire time. So I'm going to glue that pocket back down. Okay, so now we're going to be on to the third tab. Moving along, we want 2 inches up from here, and I'll just draw this line down here. Okay, finish this line all the way down. One more to go, so we're just going to cut off everything below this one. So let me draw that in. Okay, we did it. Okay, we've got 4 tabs now. And I'm going to erase the pencil marks that are left over, and I'm going to round off these edges for all of the tabs. Okay, so the easiest way to do the corner rounding, Natasha said, was to get a template, and then you can just draw around the corners here and cut them out for yourself. So I'm going to do that for all the corners, draw them all first, and then I'll cut them all at the same time. Okay, so let's take a look at what we have so far. We've got the painted cover, and then we've done all the tabs. We've put some washi tape down the center for added stability, and we've rounded all the tabs off, and we added a few pockets, and we had to repair a few mistakes. So the next step before we go any further is to bind the planner together. So I'm using a binding cradle. You can use the center of a book or just punch them while you're holding them together. And I'm just gonna go 1 notch down from the top and 1 notch from the bottom. And what I'm going to do is put some elastic in this journal, and I'm going to use my awl to hold it together so that I know where my hole is while I get my elastic prepared. And the reason that I'm going to bind with elastic is because I want to be able to reuse this piece, so I can then add and remove the signatures when I'm done with them and put more inside if I want, or take stuff out. So I'm just going to do 2 lengths, I think should be plenty, of this black elastic cord. I'm using 1mm elastic cord for jewelry making. I just got that on Amazon. And then I'm just gonna find a needle that is big enough to get this elastic through the file folders. That was so difficult. I had to thread this needle off camera. It took me forever. Okay, so here's the hole. And I'm just going to start in the inside and come out and back through the middle, and I'm going to pull these tight and tie it together as tightly as I can. You could put grommets here too with a little bit bigger holes. That would probably be smart to just give you some extra support for putting the pages in and out. Maybe I'll go back and do that later. But you can leave these dangling if you'd like, and put some pretty dangles there if you would like. Alrighty, so now we are bound together, and here comes the fun part and the surprise, which I feel very long time to get to the reveal here. So sorry. So my initial idea was to do some hexagon punches, as I told you. So let's get some punches out. And I wanted to do like several different sizes and color schemes, different patterns. And it looks best if you do things in odd numbers, so 3, 5, 7, 9, like this. So at first my idea was going to be something like this and glue these down, and then I'm going to take my glue gun and trace around each one for a little dimension. But I think what I might do instead is punch out little circles and then do some flowers on the front and make the whole thing like a flower mosaic, sort of. So I'm changing course, but you can of course do the hexagons if you'd like. So I'm going to probably do a few small flowers. So I'm just going to punch out the centers of the flowers. Okay, I'm gonna just commit to these. So before we get started with the cover, I'm just going to quickly ink up all of these edges and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've got my station all cleaned up. I inked the edges of everything, and now I'm just going to glue these flower centers to the cover, spread out on the cover here. I decided to go with 3 flowers, 1 large and 2 small. Okay, so now I'm going to take my pencil and just lightly draw some blooms that I'm going to trace with my hot glue. Okay, so there's my flower outlines. So now what I want to do before I do the hot glue portion is to cover the centers with some glossy accents. If you don't have this, you could use Mod Podge, and this will just give it a little bit of dimension, and it will also protect it. Okay, and then you just want to poke that with a needle before you put it away so that it doesn't clog up on you next time. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry for a few minutes and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, I've let this dry for about 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm just going to try to work very carefully and outline everything in hot glue. So wish me luck. Okay, and now that I've done that, I'm gonna go in and just make some shapes in the blank spaces. going to stop there for right now and let this dry completely, and then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so it's turning out pretty cute. I'm pretty satisfied with it, and now I'm going to use my gold paint pen to trace all the lines of glue so that the cover is black and gold. I wish that I would have remembered that I had black glue sticks, because then I could have used these for the cover, but I forgot that I had these, so maybe next time. I was initially going to paint over everything with black again, but I think I'm just going to skip that step because I tested it here and I think it looks great. So I'm just gonna continue coloring all of this in. Hard fought and won by me. I just couldn't catch a break with this one, but I persevered in the end, I think, and I noticed that there's a few straggling strands of hot glue, so I'm gonna try to use this lip brush to sweep those away maybe over the next week. I'm gonna allow this to dry for probably 24 hours until the glossy accents in the center is completely dry. And then I'm going to probably put it under a book for a day or two, like a heavy book, and weigh it down to sort of reinforce the way that I want it to lie. And then I'll probably put a signature here since it's just removable. Those painted papers that I cleaned the paintbrush off with, I think would go very nicely right here. And then that's where we'll stop for today, and you can get caught up if you want to try something like this. Remember, you can try the little hexagons, you can do flowers, circles, you can do blobs over the whole thing. Consider using colored glue sticks if you have gold or black. That would be really awesome. And we'll continue to personalize this throughout the month of August. If you're interested in picking up these papers and joining this project, I'll leave the link. I'll also leave the link for Natasha at Treasure Books, who inspired this project. Thank you so much, Natasha, for everything you do for everyone in the paper crafting community. You truly are a muse and one of a kind and very inspiring and inspirational. Also, I did find a tutorial for this type of technique from Mii Paintings, so I'll put her link down in the description as well. I hope you were able to learn from my mistakes today, and hopefully this wasn't a complete disaster to watch. But thank you so much for joining me. I do appreciate you being here, and until next time, have a great crafty weekend. Bye!